All right, we are going to get not started, but I'm going to get signed in and get all of my things logged in. So, welcome if you're out there. Let me load in our comments. And I am streaming this to both Facebook and YouTube, and we are good to go. So, it is 6:55, and I just realized I didn't do something today. So welcome. If you're out there, let me know that you're out there. I greatly appreciate it. And in the meantime, I gotta write myself a note because I forgot to oh shoot, I lost my I've already lost my train of thought of what I was gonna do. Oh my gosh, see what happens when you get old? Start falling apart. What in the wild world of sports was I gonna do? All right, well, I'm just going to make some little notes to myself, and once y'all get ready to come on, then we will start probably about 7:05. Our neighbors that just moved in, they don't have a label on their, oh my goodness, what is their door? 6. All right, it is 6:57, so welcome if you're out there. I'm trying to get the camera, get my head in the back of my light. There we go. Once I turn the camera down, you won't be able to see it. So I lost my train of thought. I was thinking, do y'all do that? Do you ever sit down and go, wait a minute, let me get myself situated. Hey Jane, how are you? Welcome. I'm trying to get myself situated so you don't see my light behind my head. Trying to make it look like my halo. So we're going to get started here in a couple of minutes. We're going to wait for everybody else to come on. I'm a little bit early. And I was just sitting here. Do you talk to yourself? I do. I was just asking myself, there was something I was going to do, and I've lost my thought. I was just getting ready to say, I need to do this, and I completely went bloop right out of my head. I don't know what it is. Probably old age, but I hope not. So, is this your first time joining us, Jane? All right. Let's see. I got to think about this here. I honestly don't remember what I was going to do. Oh, well. Oh, okay. Great. Well, welcome. All right. I'm still trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I can't remember, but oh well. And where are you from, Jane? Where do you live? Oh, Wisconsin. Oh, is that Wisconsin, right? So I assume it's probably cooler there than it is here in Florida. So, oh my God, the weather here has just been crazy. It rained. Oh, it's just crazy. Hello there, Karen. How are you? Miss Karen Joe. You're actually watching on YouTube tonight, huh? I don't know about you guys, but do you ever think about you got to do something, and then as soon as you turn your head, you forget what you're supposed to do? My husband tells me, he keeps saying, that's why we moved here, right? Because we're in this life care community. He goes, that's why we moved here for you. And I'm like, yeah. And he's the one that's starting to get forgetful. He walks out of the house now and forgets the keys, which is something he said he would never, ever do. You know how that goes. So I just have to laugh at him. Oh, it's too funny. Okay, oops. I have got a little, give me 1 second. I'll be back in just a minute. I just got my notification. I have to take my pills. And so give me 1 minute. I'll be back. We're waiting for others to come in. So I'll be back in just a flash so I can get them done. And the dog is chasing me. Medication. Nothing like leaving you in La La Land, huh? I'm back. Yeah, it came up on my iPad. Well, it's on my Fitbit. My husband plugged it in. We've changed the way we take certain medications. He is like by the book type person. He reads and researches everything, and sometimes it drives me crazy. It's good, but it drives me crazy. So some of the medication that each one of us take, we looked at each one to see how you should be taking it and what you should or should not be taking it with. And then I come to find out that I take Synthroid because I don't have a thyroid. I had that removed years ago. And that is not supposed to be taken with anything else, so by itself. And I've always taken my pills in the morning, you know, my vitamins and all this other mess. And now he did research, and it says you should take them with your largest meal, which would be dinner. Well, you know what, at 7 o'clock at night, I can't remember. So he put it in my phone so that it goes to my Fitbit. So no matter where I am, I'll get notified of it. So, which is a good thing, but you know, but I laugh because I'll go in the kitchen. I take the dog out after she eats dinner. So around 7 o'clock, she has to wait. So at 7 o'clock, we go out and she does her little business. And then she comes back in, she gets a licky mat. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that. But it's a rubber mat. You can get them in square or round. It's got these little knobs on it. It's all rubber, right? So there's little knobs. And you squirt like your the peanut butter, Kong peanut butter, whatever flavor you want. You put it on the licky mat. And you just smooth a little bit in. And then it keeps the dogs, it keeps them focused, and they are licking that thing, and it does something with their tongue, I don't know. So it occupies her for about a good, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. I don't give her as much peanut butter as I used to, but anyway, so. And then, of course, Riley has to follow me out. Anywhere I go, she's like my, you know, little shadow. So anyways. But, so that's why my little thingy went off and said, oh, I got to take my pills because I don't want to forget. Because then, you know, you get off at a track and then you get, you know, it screws up everything. So, all right, it's 7:03. We're going to give it 1 more minute and then we're going to start. I'm using some new stamp sets. Okay, so who out there took advantage of the free shipping today? I hope y'all did. I tell you what, I was putting an order in for one of my customers, and I was getting very frustrated because the system, and I know that it's getting, you know, everybody and their brothers ordering because you can save money on your shipping, right? Who wouldn't do that? And it kept spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'd put stuff in the cart for my customer, and then it would come back and say it would take forever to get it, and then it would come back and say, we're sorry, it's not working or whatever. And I was getting so irritated, so I had to take a deep breath, and then I tried again. And after about 40 minutes, I finally got 1 item in the cart, and then I got 2 items in the cart, and I got 3 items in the cart, and then daggone if it didn't just throw my cart out to Nowheresville. I was so, I was not happy camper. But needless to say, I got her order in, so she got her free shipping, and she'll be happy. So I just thought, oh my gosh, it was driving me crazy. So hopefully y'all, if you took advantage of it, you also get some bonus day coupons hopefully yours went a little bit smoother than mine did. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself. So we might have lurkers out there, and I want to welcome everyone. So welcome, welcome. And if you are new to my channel, and you're watching on YouTube, if you don't mind, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. And then also, if you're on Facebook watching, then if you know anybody, well, I know you should, have crafty friends, share my videos if you think that they're going to enjoy them, or just share them anyways. And if they don't like it, they don't have to watch it. So anyways, but thank you. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, 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 welcome. We are a little, well, I shouldn't say we, I'll speak for myself, a little crazy here. Hey, Carol. And anyway, so let me go through that. I'm Dawn Duvall, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I've been doing this a little, over 12 years. And I live in Fort Myers, Florida, where it's hotter than blazes. But, you know, that's better than having snow. So, anyways, all right. So this evening, let's see what else. Oh, one other thing to remind you all, and I'm going to put an event out there as well, but I'm doing a BOGO on Friday, the 26th. It's going to start at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I was going to run it through Monday midnight, but actually, you know, if you get up and do something Tuesday morning, that's fine, because I'll close it out on Tuesday. What it's going to do is, since we're at the end of the month, I thought it might help that you could get my products for free when you place an order of the same value through my online store using my host code. And you'll also be able to take advantage of getting the bonus coupons if you spend $50 or more. So you'll go, I'll have on my Facebook page, Shall We Stamp One, at that page, I will have albums loaded. I'll probably have them loaded mid-morning, but don't try to, you can go in there and look at them, but don't make any comments that you're going to purchase, because I'll just wipe them out. It starts at 1 o'clock and then it will run through. So go through, and I'll have the prices are going to be set for the stamp sets. It's going to be one price, so you don't have to worry about it. Stamp sets will be one price. Stamp bundles will be one price, depending on if they have dies or a punch. I'll have dies for sale. And then I'm going to have miscellaneous stuff, which is going to be designer paper, paper boxes, ribbon, cardstock, whatever. Okay. So keep that in mind. Starts Friday at the 26th at 1 o'clock. So what you'll do is you'll purchase items from my retired set, make a list of what you want, because there's a form, a Google form that you're going to need to fill out and send to me. And let's just say your item totals, you know, $100 or $110, whatever. Then I will pull your items to make sure they're still available. I'm going to invoice you for the shipping. I will ship them out priority mail. So depending on this, how many items you get, it's either going to be $9 or $15. And then once you get that, then you need to go to my online store and place an order of the same amount. So if you bought $100 worth of stuff, if you held $100 worth of my retired stuff, then you place an order for $100 or more through my online store. And it's pretty easy to do. So that starts Friday at 1 o'clock. And then also Friday at 12 o'clock is our Fundamental Friday. And I will be working on that next. I haven't done anything with that yet, but I'm thinking of something. So anyways, trying to keep y'all busy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I did get a small order in the other day, and I had ordered 2 of the holiday stamp sets. So I'm excited. We're going to do some Christmas in July. And one of the sets, I'm actually using one set, but I'm using a couple of pieces out of the other. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. So let's get started. And let me get the camera. There we go. All right. So we're going to be working with Filled with Cheer. Isn't this the cutest thing? I love this little melty Santa Claus. Now, both of these are, you know what? I'm not even sure if, I think these are, you know, I need to double check. I think these might be pre-order. I'll have to verify that. I could be wrong. So anyways, you can always go into my online store and look. If you don't see them, check the online exclusives. If they're not there, then they'll come out with our new catalog, which will come out in early September. And that's going to have our holiday catalog in there, as well as all sorts of fall items and all of that, and Halloween. And but anyway, so if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, if you've already gotten them from me, then you will stay on my list unless you don't want one. If you don't, if you're not working with a demonstrator, just shoot me a message and let me know with your name, address, and email address, and I will put you on the list so that you'll get one in the mail. All right, so we're going to work with the filled with cheer. I just think this is so daggone cute. This is I guess it's not a sleigh, it's a wagon, and we're gonna use all of these stamps in both of the cards that we're gonna be making. Okay, and these are photopolymer, and there are 8 stamps with this one, and then I also and I think this one has dies with it. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. I think it does. I didn't order the dies, so I fussy cut, which I will be doing this evening. I'm going to fussy cut. Sometimes it's just easier to fussy cut, even though I don't like to do that. And then I also got the sophisticated sleigh, and I can't wait to show you some cards that I'm going to make with this set. And I did get the dies on this one. And tonight we're going to be using the snowflakes, and I'm going to use this little wreath in a different way. So these 2 items I'm going to use on our cards, but we're mainly focusing on the filled with cheer, okay? And we're gonna make 2 cards. I was gonna do 3, but I thought I've got some coloring I need to do, so that might hinder me getting all 3 done. So this one I made, and I thought this is so cute. It's very simple, very, very simple. We're using blueberry bushel, and I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored it at 5 1/2. And then I'm gonna stamp some Whisper white ink on the cardstock with the snowflakes, and I'm going to try to get them a little bit closer to the edges. I did fine on this side, but this side they're not quite showing as much. And we're going to stamp the snowman, the melting snowman. We're going to color him in, and I've placed it on a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of real red, and then 3 3/4, 3 7/8 by 5-ish for our top piece, which is what we'll stamp and color. And then I am using the new Opal Rounds assortment, and they have clear, and then they've got some kind of a yellow look, and then of course blue. And so that's what we're going to be using, what I placed here. Okay, all right, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do, because the if you've ever worked with the Whisper white ink, it's a pigment ink, so it takes a little bit longer to dry. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the snowflakes on here, and then I can set that aside to dry while I'm coloring the other stuff. All right, so I've got this cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then I'm going to go ahead and score this at 5 1/2, right? So half of 11 is 5 1/2. Melting in Florida. Yeah, that's what I should have put on there. Welcome to you from Florida. That's a good one, Karen. I might have to use that for my type up a little thing and put it on the card during the holidays and put from Florida. From hot Florida. I'm melting. So, okay. So the first thing that we're going to do, let me get I need a mat, and I need a little piece of scratch paper just in case I decide to stamp off. And I need I'm going to use one of my craft mats here. Give me some cushion, because these are photopolymer. All right, so we're going to bring in our Whisper white, and I don't know about y'all, but I don't use white ink that often, but it's good to have on hand just in case. So I'm going to start with my 3 snowflakes, and I'm just going to randomly stamp off. Let me move this up here. I'm going to randomly stamp these, and I'm going to try to get them as close to the edge as I can, because that's what we really want to see, right? So these are 3. These are the ones that are in the catalog, in the stamp set. That was the only one that we're using from the sleigh, Sophisticated Sled. I don't know if y'all have seen any of those sets being used yet. I've seen a few out there. So I'm going to hold this down a little bit longer than normal, because I want to make sure that my snowflakes and my ink disperses. So with it being this pigment, it's going to take a little bit. I just want to make sure, because some of them, when I was doing it rather quickly, you can see that one I didn't push down as hard. But that's okay. No, it's no big deal. So I just want to get these all along the edge because we want it to give it that Christmassy look, at least on the edge, so it's not so plain Jane. And I'm just going to push down a little bit harder and let them sit. So you have to be we have to be a little bit patient like this. I'm just going to turn it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to turn it because I really want to get more of them on this side. And we don't have to put this many. You can just do as many as you want. Hey, Kathy. How you doing? Kathy's got a long name. She got a long one. I hate to have to write that name all the time, Kathy. So, hope you're doing well. We're just getting started. We're going to use Filled with Cheer, one of the new holiday sets. And I'm using white pigment ink, and I'm just going to stamp around the edges because I want some snowflakes to show after we do our, once we put our layers on our card. I want these to kind of show through, right on the edges. Because I don't want my paper looking, you can hear my stamp, it's grabbing it, right? So I don't, hang on one second, let me move this mat up some. I don't want my paper, and I'm going to get glue. There we go. I stamped there. But that's okay, because we're using photopolymer, so I got to make sure that I got a good cushion on it. And I'm pushing down to make sure I get the ink dispersed. There we go. I'll just push really hard. And we're just going to go around the edges. That way, when they'll be peeking out from the from the corners of the card. All right, and see, that one didn't do so good, but that's okay. We're all right. We're just going to keep going around the edges. You just have to push this on here and let it sit for a few minutes. Now, you know, I could do Versamark, right? We could do Versamark and some white embossing powder. That probably wouldn't have taken as long. I could have just stamped these little suckers on here, right? Added the powder, and we would have been good to go. So I'm just going to line these up, trying to twist and turn so they don't look all the same. And as you can see, I'm not getting all the ink on there, but that's all right. We're just going to try to get right up to the top here, and then we'll be good to go. I know, nothing like sitting here watching me stamp snowflakes, right? But it makes me feel cool. It makes me feel good because it's so blazing hot here in Florida. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your husband. Oh. Well, welcome, Jeanette. I hope you enjoy the cards. Is this your first time here watching me? Well, I hope you get back into your card making. It, as we all know, it's very therapeutic, right? I probably should do some up here, don't you think? So let me pull my white back out. That wasn't smart. What did I just do with it? Hang on, I gotta find my white ink. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking I was done. So let me go ahead and do the top real quick, and then we'll get moving on the other part because the coloring is what I think is going to take a little bit of time. But I'll try to speed that up. All right, here we go. And I've already, and again, as I mentioned, I believe this set has dies, but I did not purchase the dies for this set. So that's what I get. I'll have to fussy cut it, but that's okay. Okay, there we go. Now these can dry. Now, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in my white piece, and we're going to start doing our stamping. And well, no, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to color. Let me get my pieces. I got to stamp my little snowman, don't I? All right, so we're going to put this here. I'm using my craft mat as my cushion. So, alrighty, let's see. There we go. All right, so this is the snowman, the melting snowman, which Karen Joe made a good point that he's coming from Florida because he's melting from this 96 and 99 degree weather. It's crazy. Oops, I just got too much ink on that one. So let me just get him. We're going to get him inked up. Actually, I'm going to clean off that one piece right there. It's too much black. It's stuck in the, hang on one second. Let me wipe that off. I must have got really heavy-handed. All right, that's fine. That will work. All right, let's try this again. I got a little heavy-handed there, but I think that's going to be fine. So let's just make sure we get all our pieces of our snowman inked up, and I think we're good there. Get his nose. There we go. Go ahead and get his nose. All right, so we're going to stamp and we're going to put him at the bottom. So we're going to make it look like he's near the end of the page. And we're going to press that down, and then I'm just going to hold that for a second. Make sure we get everything inked up there. And we're going to do some coloring. So it shouldn't take too long on this one. The other one, I'm doing the packages, so that one might take a little bit longer. All right, so let's do some coloring. I'm going to move this out of the way. And, you know, with it being Christmas, or we're going to use a lot of the reds and the greens, obviously. So I am going to come in and do some red on the snowman's hat. And I think let's see, let me think if I want to do dark. I think I'm going to do light. Let's do light and see how it goes. All right, so we're just going to do, this is real red. And I'm just doing a band on his hat. And then we'll do his scarf. And there, you know, you got to be careful, right? Because snowman, I'm not going to color him because he's already white. So I don't want to go out of the lines, which I did earlier. And I tried to clean it up. And that did not go over very well because I used the color lifter and it smeared my red ink. So I wasn't thinking about that, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to color that, and then while I've got the red out, I'm going to go ahead and color these ornaments, the little dots on here. So I'm going to color these red. This is real red. This is the light. I'm not going to use the dark. I could, but that's okay. And then we're going to come back in, and we'll color the tree, and then we'll do our sled. I got one more little ornament right there, and then of course we'll do our star. And we're going to color the, oh, I forgot to get my, give me 1 second, I forgot my orange for the pumpkin. We're going to use pumpkin pie for his nose. Not the pumpkin pie, peach pie. We got too many pies, you know? All right, so this is dark. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dark in the little, every other little space there. And then I'll come back and do some, white, bright light in the lighter center. Let me, can y'all see that okay? Or do you want me to zoom it in? Okay, so let's see. I'm coming in with my black, and that's smoky slate. Hang on. Well, we can do that. I'm going to use my smoky slate. I'm just going to fill in his buttons so that they don't show any white there. So I'm just going to kind of make them a little bit darker so they kind of stand out. And then we're going to color. We're going to go ahead and color his hat. Let's get that done. And then we got to do the brim. This is where you have to have a really steady hand, right? I probably should get the black. This is smoky slate. Well, that'll work. It's no big deal. It's not black, but it will work. Okay, so we've got that. And let's see. We got his nose colored. And now let's come in. I'm using the Daffodil Delight, so I'm going to use that for my star. And I'm just going to color just the star itself is going to be yellow. And then I'm going to come in now with my Old Olive. And I'm going to use the light and the dark. So I'm going to take the dark, thin pencil tip. And I'm just going to come in around the bottom where the branches are. The little lines there. I'm just going to kind of fill that in with the dark, and then I'll come back. So I'm just filling in like the bottom pieces just a little bit, and then try to give it a little bit of definition and some depth there. And then we'll come back with the light, and I'm not an expert by any means, so if y'all do something differently and you're blending and coloring, by all means. But you know. And I'll make some little marks here where the pieces are. But we all do things differently, and that's okay. That's what makes the world go round, right? So we'll just get this all colored in, and then I can color the rest of it once we get started and get him all purdied up. The next one is got packages, and those are, they shouldn't take too long to I shouldn't say that. They shouldn't take too long to color. I think when you're doing it, when you're creating the cards, you're cutting and doing all that stuff, and I've already got most of that stuff is already done. So that's fine. All right, so I think I've got the parts that I want in here. And okay, now I'm going to come back with the light, and then we're going to color this in. And I've actually got this on order to order some more, because you know how you use up one color, right? Only one color gets used, and then you got to order the double pack, because my the light here is fine. It's just I can't use the big tip, because you know once you use that big tip and it runs out of ink, it tends to not work as well. So I'm going to do this. We're just going to color along. And you know, coloring is kind of relaxing, don't you think? That's another therapeutic thing that we can do to help ourselves. So tomorrow is therapy day. I can Zoom, on YouTube, okay. But if I need to, if anybody else needs me to Zoom in a little bit. Tomorrow, Riley and I do our therapy. So we're going, not that I need therapy, I probably do, but we're going to go visit our medical center here, which we do every other week, so twice a month. And, you know, I think I just colored part of the back side here. I don't know. I think that's part of the tree. So every other week we go to our medical center, and we do 3 floors. They're like hospital. It's like a hospital. And we visit our assisted living, our memory care, and then they have like a little higher end care. So we visit those folks, and I think I told y'all last time that I'm using the doggy carriage because oh, and I have to tell y'all too, I probably did. We went to the vet and she got shots for arthritis, and oh my gosh, she's like a whole different dog. But I think I might still use the cart only because it's a lot easier, and it really is a lot of walking for her. And she's, you know, she's 14 or 15 years old, so I don't want to put any more stress on her than I have to. But she did decide, we were visiting, and this one lady, I pushed the carriage up next to the bed, and she decided to jump into bed with this lady. And the lady loves dogs, and so the activities director said, quick, get a picture so we can send it to her daughter. So, but that's my dog. I tell you what, everybody loves her. She's such a sweet, just a sweet dog. Okay, so we got our tree done. And now we're going to, but that's tomorrow. So now we're going to color our sleigh, and I'm going to do that in our pecan pie. Look, we got all sorts of pecan pie, peach pie, all sorts of pie. And this one, I think I'm going to do in our smoky slate. I'm going to do I guess the tracks of the sled part, the tracks of them. You know, I don't think I really want this dark, but oh well. I didn't bring the smoky slate light. So this is going to be a little bit darker than I would have preferred, but that's all right. But anyway, so tomorrow we do our therapy visits. And there's certain people that look forward to her coming and visiting. So we have to make sure we visit everybody that wants to see Miss Riley. And there's certain people that really need her. They really look forward to her coming in. All right, this is the dark, and I'm just going to go in with the lines that the artist has drawn on the sled, just the wood effect, just to give it a little bit more darkness so it kind of stands out. All right, and then I'm going to come back in with the lights. I told you this one won't take long to color. This one we're going to come in with the light shade, and then I'm just going to go over and color these here. I think I'm going to come back and color. I'm thinking if these should be, I don't know if this should be dark right here. I think that probably should be dark. I'm thinking I'll do this thing dark. I don't recall being, I don't know, I might have been on a sled at some point in my life. I don't know. I know I was, and when I went up to, Steamboat Springs many eons ago. God, that's probably been 40 years ago. And I was, I don't like cold, but I thought I was going with some friends, and I borrowed some clothing from one of the managers that I worked with, and I can say that I looked pretty good on the slopes, but I didn't know how to ski. I did take lessons, so I stayed on the baby slopes, but the baby slopes out there are really, they're not baby slopes if you ask me, but not compared to when I lived in Virginia. So anyways, it was fun, but it wasn't for me. So anyways, all right, so there is our colorful part of our snowman. So now, I'm going to, we're going to stamp, and I should have done that here just a minute ago. We're going to stamp our sentiment. We're going to do that in white as well, so hopefully I can get it dark enough that we can see it. And I'm going to stamp that on real red cardstock. And the sentiment for this one is going to be a warm hello. And I'm going to ink this up and get some ink on him. And then I'm going to stamp it because I'm going to cut this into an oval. So I'm going to come down here. You know what, I'm thinking I might do it this way. Nope, I better not because I'm not sure if it's going to fit. All right, I'm going to do it right about here. And I'm just going to let this sit for just a second. I want to make sure I get enough white ink on that to transfer so we can see it. All right, let's see. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to use the double oval punch, and I'm only going to use the oval part. I'm not going to use the larger piece of the double oval. And this is retired, but I keep my punches because you never know. You know, it's so easy. You just got to have your punches, right? So I'm just going to get this lined up in here. And give me just a second so I can make sure it's lined up. I think I've got it in there pretty good, centered. All right, and actually I'm thinking I'm going to move it over just a tad. We're going to put some ribbon on it. All right, so, okay, so we're going to do that. And now we're going to pop this up on dimensionals, and then we'll tie a little piece of twine. Those aren't the ones I want. I want some bigger dimensionals. All right, so everybody doing okay out there? I'm just going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of this, and we're going to place it on here. See, this is a really pretty easy card. All right, so we're going to place that. I'm going to put it right about here, I guess, right there. Kind of take up some space. And then I'm going to use some our baker's twine or whatever, linen twine, linen thread, whatever you want to call it. And I am going to do a double bow and have my ribbon scissors. And we're going to tie a bow, and I'm just going to make a small one, and then we're going to attach this with our glue dots. All right, so we're going to pull it tight, and let me make my, I got to make my tails, or make my little bows a little bit smaller because that's a little too big. Let me pull, I'm just pulling in the pieces just to try to get my, there we go. And let's see, that's a little bit too big. So we're just going to pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in, and then just tighten it back up to the size that you want, which is pretty easy. And then we're going to cut, I'm going to trim this over here so it goes in my trash can. All right, so I'm going to cut that up, and then we're going to put a glue dot on here. So I've got a glue dot right here, and I'm just going to take the whoops, see, I got my finger on it. I'm going to take the bow, and we're going to just squish it down on top of our glue dot, which will not be seen, and pull it off. And then we're going to put that right up here in the corner, and then I'm going to add some of those opal rounds. So I think that's what they're called. Yep, the opal rounds assortment. All right, so we have that on there, and I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to put the blue ones. So I want it to coordinate with my blueberry bushel. Let me get my paper snips out. And I am going to pull in, get them out of here. How do y'all organize your embellishments? Do you have a system? Because I've got so many in a drawer, and it's really hard to try to figure out what I'm going to do with them. All right, so I'm going to take, I don't know if I want a large one. I think I'm going to do the small ones. I'm just going to place, they always tell you, and I think I said this before, place them in numbers of 2 or 3, I mean 2 or 5, I'm sorry, 3 or 5. So just to keep odd numbers, I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so there's that. We'll move that out of the way, and now we can put our card together. And then there's one other thing we have to do for our inside of our card, and we'll do that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get this together. If I can get my card up here. Again, this is the Real Red cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to use our famous green glue, or liquid glue. I've been using a stick pen, I guess whatever you call these pokey pens that you use. Can you see that? Let me put it over here. In my keep them from getting clogged up. I don't know why I just did that, because normally I wasn't thinking. Normally I put my white on top before I add this, but I was too busy talking. See how it kind of takes up and hides some of those snowflakes? But that's all right. Okay, this is weird. Normally I put the white on first and then I attach it to the red, and then that is what I would then add to the card, but too busy running my mouth. That's all right. We'll get it. It will work. So we're just going to lay it on here, give it a small border, which works out perfectly. All right, there we go with that. Okay, and then the last thing, we're going to take our inside piece and we're going to ink up this, the lights, and we're going to color these lights so we have that on the inside of our card. And I'm going to just, since they go at an angle, I'm just going to do the same thing on the inside of the card. All right, so we're going to have lights on the inside when they open. And we're going to color those, I'm going to do red and yellow. All right, so that, let's see, we'll do light red, and I'm going to do daffodil. I'll do daffodil for the darker one. All right, so I'm just going to come in and color these real quick. That gives something. You always want to dress up the inside, right? Just like you want to dress up your envelope. I don't have any holiday paper. I need to order some. So I need to do that. And then I'm going to just do the regular light red. I'm not going to do the dark. So I'll get some holiday paper ordered, and then I'll be able to put that on our envelope flap. But I thought this just kind of dresses up the envelope. Dresses up the inside of the card. So we'll throw that over there. And then we're going to add this to the inside. And then this card will be completed. All right, so blueberry bushel is the color that I chose on the card base, 4 1/4 by 11, and then score it in half. Or you just fold it in half if you want to do that. And there's a quick and easy card. Something different for the holidays. And if you live in the hot South like we do, this will be perfect to send to our friends. Now, I could have come back and put a little but I think that's fine. Okay. All right, so there you go. And then we open it up, and there's our lights on the inside, and then you can stamp whatever sentiment you want. So there's the first card that we're going to make. We'll put that aside. Now let me bring in the items, the next thing that we're going to make. Let me move some of these colors. I think I need some of these. Some of these I don't need, but we'll just pick and choose. I think I do need this. Okay, the next one. Now this is where I'm using part of the other stamp set, holiday stamp set. So for those that have just joined us, I'm using the Filled with Cheer. And then I'm taking the Sophisticated Sleigh. I use those snowflakes at the top, and then we're going to use this wreath, and I'll show you what I've done with that. Okay, we're going to use, oopsie, all my stuff's falling over. Oh, and then you're going to love this when you see what I did with my card. But I'm leaving it this way because I'll just send it to one of my goofy friends. Okay, so we're using shaded spruce. I've taken, it's a 1/2 inch of real red cardstock, and I ran it through the, what's that, the embossed wood, raised, whatever it's called, I can't remember. It's right here, I can look it up if you need me to. But anyways, I ran it through like the wood, exposed brick. And then I've left a space, so the shaded spruce shows. Now this is, and these are a 1/2 by 5 1/2. 1/2 inch by 5. This is Flirty Flamingo, and this is 3 by 5 1/2. And that's where I stamped this wreath on there. I thought that was kind of different. And then I've colored the wagon, cut out the wheels, a fussy cut, and then we got to color those packages. But I thought that was really cute. Now this is the goofy thing that I did, and then I did the oval punch, but I used the one that has the little ridges around it. And then I'm using a piece of retired red ribbon. But here's what I did. My card was laying on my desk like this, so I just started putting it together, right? Guess what? It opens the wrong way. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave it that way, because why can't your card open like that? Nobody's got to know. but you just can't stand it up. And then I stamped the wreath on the inside and then colored that with shaded spruce and real red. So that's going to go to one of my friends, so they will appreciate that card. All right, so let's get started. Okie doke. Now I've got my shaded spruce. Now this is 8.5 by 5.5. I will make sure I turn it the right way, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4. So I'll make sure I have it going in the right direction before I put it together. I'd hate to do the same thing. So, all right, so we've got that there. We'll give this a good burnish. And then I'm going to go ahead and start coloring because I got to cut this stuff out. So we're going to lay that off to the side. I've got all my pieces already cut, and I've already ran that through the embossing machine. And then we will stamp this, and this will go on the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and let's stamp our Flirty Flamingo. And you know what? I'm trying to think of what color I used. I don't know if I must have used red. All right, well, we're going to find out. If it's not red, I think I did, but if it's not, we'll flip it over. I can't remember if I used Flirty Flamingo or if I used red on the ink. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to start, and if that's not right, we'll just flip it over, right? So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to, what I tried to do was to do some at the top and then show off the bottom so that we got most of this covered. So let's see how that works. I'm pretty sure I used real red. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're going to move all that, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to move it over to the edge a little bit, and I'm just going to stamp it there, so I just have a partial. Whoops, well, that didn't come out very well, did it? Because I'm not using my mat. So let's flip this over, right? So we're going to start it again. That's what happens. Make sure you have your cushion underneath when you're using these photopolymer stamps. You'll see why, because I just did it. All right, so let's do that again. Let's push that down. And that helps to give it the cushion that it needs. And then we're going to come back here. And we're going to get right to the edge. So if it comes off the edge a little bit, that's okay. And then we're going to do this again. And this one I'm going to do down here. So I'm going to full one down here because I want to try to keep them a little bit different. And then we'll come back and we'll do a partial one here. And it's just a great, I mean, it's another way that you can, you can do your background, make your own background paper. Remember, I think we did that on one of my One Sheet Wonders, did we not? I think we did. All right. So it's just, again, it's another way. And you can do it tone on tone or whatever color you want. It probably would have looked really pretty, I bet you, on the shaded spruce. That is really one of my favorite ink, greens. Well, along with Peacock and Lost Lagoon and Coastal Cabana. All right, so there we go. Just to give it something different. I just thought, I didn't want a plain piece of cardstock sitting there, right? So I thought, why not just stamp the little leaves in there? All right, hang on one second. I'm just going to move some stamps out of the way so I can clean this guy. Okay, all right, so we got that stamp, so that's good. Now we're going to come and we'll start doing the coloring. I have my wheels right here. And we're going to do that in the smoky slate, and I'll do those in the dark again. So we're just going to come around, and you know what? I don't want to do the dark. Hang on a second. Let me grab the light one. I'm not sure why I didn't pull that one out to begin with. Okay. All right. I'm doing these in the light. I just did the one little tire part right there, but I'm going to do this is the light smoky slate. So we're going to do the wheels. Now I will be fussy cutting these out. So probably should have bought the die set that goes with this. I didn't, but that's all right. It's okay. I don't even know if I was really thinking when I bought it and paid attention if it had the, I'm pretty sure it has a die. Some of the pictures I've seen, you can definitely tell there's a die to it. Or they're really good cutter, people that know how to fussy cut. Right? Okay, so there's our wheel. So we're going to just set that off to the side for a minute. Now we're going to come in and we're going to do the wagon, and then we'll color our flowers. Let me put the card right here so y'all can see what you can see what it looks like. Okay, so now we'll come in with our wagon, or yes, our wagon. And I am going to start with, I think I'm going to do the light. I'm going to do these straps in the pecan light. So I'm just going to I'm just going to color those in. And I'm not sure if you all know what this thing is down here. I know that's where the wheels go, but what is this piece right here? Is that supposed to be like, is that supposed to be part of the, like the color of the wagon? Because that's what I did here. I colored it in. Well, I guess it should be. Maybe it should be a lighter color instead of a dark color. Or maybe I should make it a different color. What do y'all think? I don't know. Let's see. What did I use over here? Let's do light. Let's do this one light. Because the dark is going to be the wagon itself. So I'm going to make this light. This is pecan light. I know. So, but don't you just, can you believe it's, here we are in almost the end of July and we're doing Christmas. I wish, right? But that's okay. And then we'll get back to, we'll make some, I'll start with doing some like fall. I got that leaf set too. It's really pretty. And I finally got the spotlight on nature. That thing has been on back order forever. So, but I finally was able to get one. And I'm happy I did. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with that one too. All right, this is the dark pecan pie. And I know that you all know how to color most likely. So you're just going to have to bear with me. We can chit chat. All right, so what else is going on? It's been raining. We're hoping Thursday is our boat day. Or as Thursday we keep as boat day. Boat day, I guess. Boat Thursday. And we always try to take one of the neighbors or somebody. And we have a lady here. She's a retired nun. No, I shouldn't say retired. She used to be a nun. And then she left the convent and became a teacher. And I'm not sure if she taught high school or elementary school. I'm not sure what she taught, to be honest with you. But she's a really nice lady, and she loves boating. So I think if it doesn't rain on Thursday, I believe she's going to be going with us. And she's had boats in her life, and she used to live up in Bonita Springs before she moved here, and they used to go out in the boat quite often. So, and it's nice. We just go out, the dog and my husband and I and whoever, and sometimes it's just Chuck and I, and we go out, take our time just to get on the water, and then we come, then we find a place to go have lunch on the water, and we go eat, and then we just go back, drop the boat off, and we belong to the Freedom Boat Club, which is like you buy into it, and then you pay a monthly fee, and you get to choose a boat, and then if you want your boat on the weekends or on the during the weekday. We chose the weekday because we did not want to be out with the crazy people on the weekends. It's too crazy here. So that's what we did. All right, so we've got that colored. I'm going to color that out in just a minute. Now I'm going to do my the other flowers in this my flower pots and stuff. So we're going to, let me move some of this out of the way. All right, so I am going to work our shaded spruce in. So I'm going to color some of these packages with the dark shaded spruce and then probably with the light. And then I'll do red for the ribbons because, you know, that's your typical Christmas, right? All right, so we're just going to color this in. Try not to go out of the lines because that's where I made my little, no, I didn't make my boo-boo on this one. I made it on the snowman. And then we'll come over here. And you just, one thing you have to remember is that these markers, the blends tend to, you know, the ink disperses, so you don't want to get too close to the line, right? Okay, and then we've got this one little strip right here that goes right behind this package, all right? And then this one, let's see, which one do I want to do? I think this one here, I did them both in dark. I think I'm going to do this one in light. I think I'm going to do this one in the light shaded spruce, but isn't this a pretty color? Whoop, look at that. Just went out of the line. Guess I can cut that off when I cut it, right? And then I'm going to leave that ribbon because I'm going to color that red. So let me come in here and get that done. So anyways, if it doesn't rain on Thursday, then we'll go out in the boat, probably leave about 9:30, and then just tool around, take our time, go look at whatever, and then we'll come back and stop someplace and have lunch, and then we'll come home. That's usually what we do. And we are in the midst, we're moving, but not moving far. We're only moving into the building next door. We're going to get a bigger unit. We were on the list. So we decided to get a bigger unit just in case my husband's cousin, I use his place as my crafting studio because he's never been here. So just in case he has some issues and needs to come here, then I'm going to color this one. I don't know if I want to color it the light. I think I'm going to do the dark. Then I have to move my craft stuff out. So my husband was concerned that if that was to happen, we wanted to have enough room that I can move, have my craft studio. Well, now I won't have a studio. Believe me, it'll be a small room. But anyways, so that it came above. It came, and we're going to be in the building right next door to where we are now. So we still have the same water view and golf course view. But we'll be on the second floor instead of the first floor. Well, we're first over the garage, if you will. Okay, so we got that colored, and I'm going to do the ribbons on these. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the light, real red. I don't know, for some reason the dark makes me feel like it's too dark. So I'm just going to color these two red. So these are real red. And then I'm going to come in and color the ribbon. And then once I get done, oh, look, I went out of the line again, but that's all right because we're going to cut around that. Hopefully I can cut that off. And I'm going to come back and add a little bit of highlighting with the dark. Like that. And then we'll come down on the ribbon. But anyway, so we're going to move next door. One of my neighbors wasn't happy, and she said a bad word. Not that I don't say them, but she said a word that starts with an S, and she's such a nice lady. I said, well, I'm only gonna be right next in the same daggone. You walk through our little parking parking area, and we're right next door. It's not even 50 feet away, if that. So, anyways, she said, I'm gonna miss you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be right next door. You know, coloring in. I'm finding places that I need. Okay. All right, so let me color. Let me go ahead and I should have just done all the ribbons at the same time, right? All right, let me do this one red, and the other one I'm going to do a different color. So we're going to do that. We'll come back with the dark one. So anyway, so we've been gathering boxes, and we're packing up, and we're going to have a full 2-bedroom. So we're excited about that. You know, when you move anyways and you downsize, that's hard enough. And we downsize, but it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be nice. So I'll be happy. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. Oh, you know what I did? No, it's this one. No, which one did I do? I think it was, oh, you know what I did? I used cherry cobbler on the other card, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, well, that's okay. All right, this is the dark real red, and I'm just going to color in the bows. I hope you all don't mind chatting time while I'm coloring. I should have done this ahead of time. You wouldn't have had to listen to me running my mouth. All right, and then we're going to do this ribbon, which I forgot to do. This is the dark, so let me go ahead and add a few little things here. And then we'll put one right there. And then I'll come back in with that one. Okay, and then we're going to get the rest of these colored. This is why I decided I was only going to do the 2 cards, because I had a feeling that this was going to take long for me to get all of this mess colored, right? So, and let's see, we'll do that. How's our time? Oh, 7:54 already? Good Lord, I must talk too much. Okay, well that answers that question. Okay, this one I'm going to do, this is dark daffodil light. So I'm going to do the box yellow. And I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to do the bow. Probably should have done it opposite, but that's right. We'll do the bow in a light yellow. But this is going to be a yellow box. Don't ask me why, just because. All right, so there's that one. And then we'll come back with our light. And we're going to do, oh no, I did it that way on the other one. All right, so we're going to, all right, we might run over a little bit, you guys. My apologies. Good thing I only did 2 cards. All right, so once I get this done, the coloring, then I just have to cut it out and we'll be good to go. All right, and then I'm going to come back with the dark and fill in where the bows are just to show some shadowing. You know, where the bow's like showing the inside of the bow. All right, so there's that. And then this one, I think I'm going to do, I'll do a light, this flower thing here, I'm going to do light as well. But you know, there is I'm going to make the ribbon here. This is part of the band. I'm going to just do that. We're not going to see this bottom part. I'm going to just do that light, and then I'll come back and do the bottom part of this. I'm going to do this like it's a yellow one, because this is sitting in front of that green one, okay? But this is going to be hidden anyways. All right, now I just have to color our leaves, and I am going to do those in, I'm going to use the old olive. So, no, not. We're going to use Granny Apple. I love Granny Apple. All of a sudden, this has become one of my favorite greens. So I'm just going to come in where all the leaves are, not the poinsettia. I'm just going to do all the leaves in Granny Apple, because I didn't want to use the same, you know, color, right? So I'm just going to take my time and go through and get these leaves colored in. And then we'll come back and we'll color the flowers. And they will be in red. But I'm going to do all these leaves in the green. But I think it looks pretty. All right, and then this, I should be able to just kind of do these as a group. So I'm just going to come in. I'm just trying to fill in the areas of leaves and not get the flowers itself. But they have some of the leaves are kind of tucked under too, right? So we got to be careful with that. Like these right here, so we'll cover those up. And let's see, here's one right here. See, once you pull your head back and look at it, you're like, oh, there's one there too. Whoops, I just colored the wrong thing, but that's all right. Okay. See, I got this one, I think is right there. And that's a leaf. What is that one? By the bow, do-do-do. I think that is gonna be the other leaf. Okay, so we're gonna come in. Actually, I'm gonna make that green. Okay, now we're gonna come in with our red, and I'm gonna do the light one. I did the dark on that one, and I don't like it that dark. So we're gonna come back with the red. Actually, I think that's that might be the cherry cobbler. So I'm just gonna come in and color these, and get the reds for the flowering part. And then we'll cut these out and put it together, and we'll be good for the evening. Just have to be careful because I just don't want to go through and color up some of my green. All right, so let me know, what color would you have painted these? If you have a preference, would you have painted these pots? Would you painted them? Would you have colored them different colors, like silver? This one I tried to make it look like it's gold, but it really doesn't look like gold. Would you do silver, and then you have silver? That would be pretty, right? And let's see. Let me turn my paper this away. And oh, I got to finish coloring my. See, when you start coloring and you start looking for areas, then you see all the spots that you missed, right? So that's going to get colored, and that's part of the red, that's part of the leaf right there too. All right, and I think we need to come back with Granny Apple. No, we need to come back with the red, because I've got part of this ribbon right here that I did not color. So So I'm going to stick that right there and do that little piece there. And then this is a leaf that's red. And I've got a couple right here that I just missed. See, so you got to look at them, look closely. I think that's good. All right, I think we're good. Let me come back with my granny apple because I see a couple of little areas. Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to use my small tip. Yeah, a couple little areas right in the center here where that I kind of didn't touch enough, get enough color on it. All right, and I think, whoops, there's one right there. Okay, let's see, what else? Anything else? I think that's it. Do I have everything colored? Yep, I think I do. Okay, so now we got to get our, oopsie, sorry, our paper snips out, and we're going to start cutting away. And it shouldn't take that long, hopefully, because I'm just going to go around the edges, and I'm going to take my time, and we're just going to start making our scissors just move into the grooves, and we'll just try to make, I'll come back and free up a little bit of those corners so they're not quite so cornish looking, you know, pointy. Try to make them a little bit so we go through. This is when, you know, this is when you should have your, the dies, but it's okay. It won't take that long. This one's a little bit more tedious because you've got all these little ribbons you got to go around. But one thing, I can cut off my part that I just went off the edge with, right? So we'll just come in here. There's some people, okay, so do you like to fussy cut or not? Answer the question, yes or no. Fussy cut, yes or no. But fussy cut, yes or no. I will do it. I prefer not to do it, but sometimes I just do because it's easier and quicker. When I did my class this past week for here at Shell Point, I was cutting these little flowers and flowers, and I thought, well, good Lord, if I did that with a machine, I'd be here all day. So it was easy for me because they were small, just to cut them out with the scissors, and so I knocked them out in no time. So that was easy, but most of the time, it's okay. It's not something I look forward to doing, but there are people who really, really, really love fussy cutting. And more power to you. That's all I have to say. Now, I'm going to come off there because I don't like all this paper in my way. You know, because I want to be able to get my scissors so I can get up into my little areas and bring it down and give my little white space. All right, this is probably the one that's the most tedious, this one. Okay, so we got that done. So we're almost done. All I got to do is cut out this, and then we'll put our stuff together. All right, so same thing. We're just going to come around, cut out our wagon. And this one, I think I'm going to come back. I'm not going to, I don't really want to leave the white, but I think I will. Because it will show that we cut it. But the wheel wells are not going to be seen, so that's okay, because they're going to be covered up by the wheels. But this is a fun card, though, isn't it? It's cute. And you could actually use this. You know, this doesn't have to be a holiday card. You could use this wagon throughout the year and color your flowers for spring or fall or whatever, right? So if you're living out on a farm and you got a wagon. All right, so that's done. Put these in the trash can. And now I just have to cut out my wheels. I did put a handle on the wagon. I decided I was just going to leave it, not add one. So, all right, and then I'm just going to come around and hopefully try to get somewhat of an even circle going around this guy. And we'll take whichever one looks better on the bottom. I'm just trying to go along the edge of the black itself. My dog's over there coughing. She's getting older. But I tell you, I took her in because she was having these breathing issues. I don't know if I told you all that. And to the vet. Oh my gosh, she did not love the vet that day. She got shots that she was due for. And then I was telling her about her breathing heavy. And well, of course, I'd let her hair go because we hadn't gotten to the groomer since we came back from vacation. So she really had a lot more hair on her than she should have had. And I don't know if that was making her breathe heavy because it was some, you know, it was more than what she normally has. But anyways, so the vet goes in. I was asking her about her breathing, and she checked her lungs, and she said everything looked fine, but she's got arthritis, and she goes, but we can give her a shot, which will be better for her. And she gave her that day. I have to do it every month. She gave her that shot. That dog screamed. I thought I was going to come out of my skin. It was all I could do. I felt so bad for her, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's my fault. My dog's hurting. But I tell you, she said it might take a month or so for it to go go into effect, and I noticed a big difference right away with her. So she's doing much better in that respect. But oh my gosh, it just killed me to listen to her poor little baby. All right, so I'm going to attach this with my adhesive, and I'm just going to put the tire up over a little bit so it's kind of like at the bottom of that little strap thing. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. So I'm trying to see which one looks better to have at the bottom. I think I'll do that. Oh, I keep grabbing the wrong glue. Okay, I'm hurrying. So if y'all in a hurry, fill it with leaves and, oh yeah, that's a good idea. You're so smart, Karen Jo. The wagon, I can do that for fall. We'll have pumpkins in it. Great idea. All right, so I'm gonna put those guys there. All right, and then we're gonna, not gonna do this yet. Okay, so now we can start building our cards. Let me move my wagon. And I think I'm gonna leave the white around the edges a little bit to make it kind of look rustic. I don't know, I think this one might need to be trimmed a little bit. I think that's a little bit too much white. We'll cut that off a little bit. Okay, all right. So now we're going to, pardon me. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add our, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this piece. I'm trying to decide which one I want. I think the raised. I'm going to add this first because I want to make sure I got enough room when I put my piece in the center. So I'm going to put these on first. Well, I'll put this one on first, and then I can determine where I want the center one. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to glue this down. And the exposed brick is what I used to do that. And this is a 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. All right, so I'm just going to lay it and leave a little bit of the green, the shaded spruce at the top. And I always cut these a little bit longer because I'd rather make sure it goes to end, and then I can just trim that off. And then we're going to add, I'm going to lay this one here because I want to make sure, now this one I'm going to have to trim too, but that's all right. I'm going to lay that there, and then I want to make sure I've got room to leave enough space for enough green to show, and I do. So I'm going to leave that sitting right there, and then I'm going to add this guy. So we'll go ahead and put this one down. Oops, I'm sorry if I'm not in the camera, I apologize. And I'm going to lay this one down. He's going to go closer to the edge and leave a little bit of green because I think that will give me a little bit more room that I can maneuver between. Yep, that'll work. Okay, and then we're going to put this one down. I did it again. I keep pulling my other, I brought my extra glue bottle and holder, and I keep grabbing the one that I usually use over on my other desk. All right, so we're just going to add this, and this is 3 by 5 1/2, and this is Flirty Flamingo, actually, with the real red. So I'm going to lay that there. Now, these are hanging over the edge a little bit on the right-hand side. And I will, I'm going to push these down because I'm going to trim that other side. So let me pull it down just a little bit. I'd rather just trim one side than two. I think that's good. All right, yep. And we'll just trim this off, no biggie. So we'll just cut that and just trim up here. Just stay right against the edge of your cardstock. There you go. Okay. Now, okay, I've got it right, so we're good to go so far. All right, so now I'm going, and I'm not going to pop this wagon up. I'm just going to leave it down. Do you all like the white showing, or should I color it? What do y'all think? Kind of makes it look a little rustic, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to leave my wheels up because I want to see some of that. So I think I'm going to put the wheels right about on that red thing. But before I do that, my flower pots and stuff are going to go in the thing. So I think I'm going to set it just about like that. So I need this guy's going to go right up. I'm going to put it right there. And then I know I've got to move him up a little bit more to get to cover the edges of this. So we're going to put our flowers in. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, and we're going to place that. Put my wagon here. And one there. And we'll put this one right about here. Okay, let me make sure so I can slide it down. Nope, I think that's fine. All right, so that's going to go there. And then I'm going to glue him down right about like that. I want some of this area here to show underneath. So, all right, so let's go ahead and glue this one down. Get some glue on my tires. All right. All right, so we're going to place that right up here. Get him over just a little bit. All right, got those down there with my little crooked tires, but that's okay because it's all homemade. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is take a piece of white. Did I bring white over here? Nope, I didn't. Hang on a minute. Let me grab me a piece of white so we can cut our. Nope, we don't want that. Let me see. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to grab a scrap. All right, I've got a bigger one right here. Here we go. This will work. Okay, so we're going to stamp our sending. Let me find my stamp. Here it is. Sending loads of Christmas cheer. So our loads of Christmas cheer are going to be our flowers. So, you know, we could really put anything we want in that. And I'm going to stamp this on white, and we're going to cut this out with our punch. Oh, looks like I know what I'm doing there, huh? All right, and then we're going to use the larger oval. So I'm going to put that through there. And I'm going to have to hold it with my right hand, make sure I've got it in there. We're going to put a bow on this, so I'm going to move it just a little bit up, making sure that it's centered. And I'm going to squeeze it just to hold it in place so I can look at it. And I think that looks good, so I'm going to pop that out. Okey-doke. And then we're going to put this on dimensionals. And then we are going, I keep grabbing my little baby ones. I don't know why I keep doing that. All right, and then we're going to do a ribbon real quick. So we're going to put that there. And we'll be almost done. Well, that's not too bad. I'm 15 minutes past the time. Sorry about that. And I'm going to lay that probably right there, just like I did the other one. And then I'm using a piece of retired ribbon. I'm almost out of it. And I'm going to tie a bow. So we're going to make a little bow. Again, we're going to do a bow, and then I'll cut it down because we're going to make it small. And get my fingernails in there. Hang on a minute. I like to kind of grab it and pull. And then I'll cut it off in just a second so I can start moving. Move some of that because I don't want it too big, right? All right, so let me just trim that piece off right there. And then we're going to make this bow a little bit smaller because we don't have a real big spot, right? So we don't want to have a real big bow. I think that'll be cute. And then I'll just trim up, get my ribbon scissors. Whoops, sorry, making noise here. Let's trim that, and let's trim that. And I'm going to pull them together to try to make them not so far apart, and they're looking. I don't know, maybe it's just me. All right, and we're going to do another glue dot. I'm going to stick that right on this bow, and find our glue dot right there. Pop him on. And he's going to go right here at the bottom. I think I need to trim that tail. I think his tail's a little bit too long. Yeah, I think the tail. What do you think? Yeah, I think the tail looks a little bit too long. So give me 1 second. Let me just, hopefully I don't cut it too short. I know, trying to, there we go. That's not too bad. All right, so there is our second card. And then on the inside, what did I do? Oh, wait, I have to look at it upside down. No, that's the inside. Oh, I stamped the wreath. So we can stamp the wreath on the inside. I'm just going to stamp it. I'll color it later. That way I'm not going to hold you up any longer. So I'll just stamp it, and we can stamp it in red actually, and we don't even have to color it. So let's just do that. Let's just stamp it. I stamped it at the top. Whoops. Well, look at that. We're going to do it again. It's stuck to my paper. See, it just doesn't want y'all to leave. There we go. And then I'll color that in later. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that on the inside of our card. See why you never glue your stuff down until after you stamp? Because if you make a boo-boo or an opportunity, you get to flip it over. Two-sided paper is wonderful. All right, so we're going to put that in here. At least we got this card going in the right direction. All right. So there we go. I'll color that one in. I might just leave it plain. It looks kind of nice like that. Okay, so there are our 2 cards that we created this evening. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I apologize for it taking so long. Went past my 8 o'clock schedule. Anyways, thank you again, everyone. I greatly appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening with me. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you Friday at 12 o'clock when I do my fundamental technique. And also, don't forget, my BOGO starts at 1 o'clock on my Shall We Stamp page. Okay, so until then, I will see you all later. Have a great evening and the rest of your